Hello and welcome to Weird World Weekly, a production of Galactic Netcasts, the Galactic Netcasts podcast network. I'm Dave Nelson, along with Mr. Matt Stein. Hello, Matt.
Hi, Dave.
This is the show where we discuss the paranormal, the mythological, the conspiratorial, unexplained, or anything else that we find weird, odd, strange, or unusual. So what's been going on in your life recently? What's happening in the world of Matt Stein?
Oh, man, work, band stuff. We have some shows coming up.
And you're podcasting like a mother effer right now.
Yeah, this is. I don't want to call it Hell Week, but it could be considered Hell Week, based on
what have I done? What have I done to you?
You
used to be, on one podcast, like you're branching off, doing things on your own. I'm like, You're doing more podcasts than I am these days.
Just this week. I try and keep it pretty minimal, but yeah, I don't know. I don't have a good explanation for it. Some are music ones, so that's really what I'm into. So
yeah, you got a new one starting. What's it called?
We actually just decided on the name. It's going to be the full title is Metal/MMA Rounds and Breakdowns.
Mm-hmm.
So I think we're just going to go by Rounds and Breakdowns, but then you get the whole Google search optimization. So that was to make someone happy.
So what's going on with Podcast of Terror these days on the Galactic Netcast network?
Yeah. Rounds and Breakdowns won't be on Galactic Netcast for obvious reasons. Yeah, well, it doesn't make sense to have a sports and metal podcast on a sci-fi studio, which everyone understands. But Podcast of Terror has been busy. We're slowing down finally. Not finally, but finally. This Sunday we're recording with Carrie from Blazing Caribou. And then we did one recently with Derek Herbert, who just successfully funded the Indiegogo for the Kane Hodder documentary. And then we're actually working on bringing some. I don't know how to describe them. I don't want to call them diehards because I don't think they're diehards, but very vocal fans of ours. Mm-hmm. People who consistently email and Twitter and stuff. So one will be a girl named Lucy from the UK will be coming on, and then I'm working on a guy named Martin I met on Twitter by having Matt Vincent on. So cool. I thought it would be nice to have
get the listeners
involved. It might give people a little more incentive to talk to us because we really do appreciate it. And
that's why you're doing it in the first place is for the listener. So why not have them on the show?
Yeah, absolutely. And I think late summer we're going to have another one with the guys from Worst Episode Ever. But summer hasn't even started. We're already planning the end of summer.
All right, let's talk about weirdness, okay? Before we do, though, don't forget you can follow us on Twitter, join our Facebook group, or like our page on Facebook, or subscribe to our YouTube channel. But you know what? To make it very simple for you, just go to our website, which is gncasts.com, and click on the social networking icons on the upper right hand of every page, and you'll find us there. Okay, so we've got two stories this week. The first one is not really a story. It's more of a subject. Because, you bring the story, I bring the subject. That's how it works here. And what we're going to talk about is Sackman. You ever heard of Sackman, Matt?
No. No. I cannot make a family-friendly joke, so no.
Oh, I see where you were going with that. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so it's very innocent. It has nothing to do with that, what you're thinking, what your sick little mind is thinking.
I'm 14. So.
This goes way back. It is one of the seemingly infinite alter egos of the boogeyman. However, unlike most versions of the monster, the Sackman may have roots in a very real and tragic tale of old. Are you intrigued?
Kinda.
Okay, do you want me to go on?
No, I definitely do, but I don't want to be let down, Dave.
I promise you will not be.
Okay.
So, okay, here we go. This creature is envisioned as an impossibly ugly and skinny old man carrying a large sack of wanderers, or no, he, carrying a large sack who wanders the land searching for. So a kid, he'd be definitely searching for you, Matt, because you are one of the naughtiest.
So naughty.
Okay, continuing. Whom he is said to capture and stuff in his bag before spiriting them off to a grisly fate. Many tales say that the sack man eats his young victims. So he goes around, he walks the land with this big sack. He finds naughty kids, then he takes them to wherever and then eats them. It's kind of like the anti-Santa Claus when you really think about it.
Isn't that? I thought Krampus was the anti-Santa Claus.
Well, maybe Krampus is based on this guy.
I like Krampus better.
Okay, I will continue. Maybe by the end of the description of this guy, you'll like Sackman better than Krampus.
I don't know. So far, we have a skinny and emaciated old man who kidnaps and eats children.
What's wrong with that?
I don't see how this can end well.
Okay. The Sackman was possibly inspired by a man who, during the 16th and 17th century, was in charge of collecting orphan babies in order to take them to the orphanages. He would put them in a huge bag or in a wicker basket. Most of them usually died before reaching the orphanage due to the lack of care and the obviously terrible conditions in which he transported them. The lingering memory of this figure may have inspired the boogeyman as envisioned in modern lore. So that's possibly where the Sackman comes from, is an actual person, or take babies to orphanages and they would probably die in transport.
So I have a mental image of this old man who puts a child into a bag and carries it back and gets back and every time finds out it's dead and just goes, again.
Yeah, that'd be funny.
Yeah.
So this is this legend, this myth comes from Brazil, Portugal, and Spanish America. So it's Latin countries is where the Sackman originates.
I mean, weird, but okay, Brazil.
Yeah, what are you doing down there? Come on.
They always do weird stuff down there, though.
They got the Zika virus going on. They got the Sackman. What the hell?
Ultra Jesus. I don't know. I can't remember. What's the statue called? It's Ultra Jesus. That's in Brazil, isn't it?
Oh, the huge sticks on top of the mountain.
Ultra Jesus.
Oh, I didn't know that was. Okay. All right. So before we move on, a question for you, Matt. If you were growing up as a kid and your parents or an adult figure told you the story of Sackman, would you be scared?
I don't know. I'm trying to think of my childhood. I mean, as a kid, the only thing that scared me was Hellraiser. And then the Sierra video game Manhunter.
Okay.
Yeah, the weird things scared me, and other things did not scare me.
Okay, I'm getting a better picture of how you became the person that you are today.
What the hell's that supposed to mean? I went to a Kiss concert when I was 12.
Wow.
I used to be scared of loud music.
Okay,
and now I only listen to loud music.
Became a drummer in a metal band. That makes sense.
Yeah.
You know what else makes sense? That is people that go to patreon.com/galacticnetcasts and gives us their money.
Makes perfect sense.
I was listening to the Elsner's podcast, the Elsner's Show podcast on the Galactic Netcast Network. And Gregor made it very simple. He said 25 cents a week. That's one cup of coffee back in the 50s. I don't know how much a cup of coffee like at a diner would cost. I just know coffee at like Starbucks, and coffee is not 25 cents.
I once had a $5 glass of coffee or mug of coffee, but that was in Las Vegas.
Wow. Okay. Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah. It was
so a 25 cents a week, that means $1 a month. to give you access. Well, okay, the dollar will go to help us pay for things like, okay, we have two things that we have to pay for every month, and that's our web hosting. That's where our website lies on the internet. And then our audio hosting, that's where we put our audio of our podcasts so that you can listen to them. And both those things cost money every month. And that's why we are raising money via patreon.com/galacticnetcasts. And for that measly dollar a month, you will get our exclusive Patreon only Slack channel. So you can chat to Matt at 3 o'clock in the morning when neither of you can sleep.
I hope to be asleep at 3 a.m., but it's been known.
That's more than the price of that. That makes up for it right there. That's
Is the ability to have constant contact with me worth $1? Although I feel most people are going to think that I should be paying them, but to each his own.
And we're also adding to the Slack chat a channel where you can submit stories that you want us to talk about on our podcasts. So, like, say for example, you find a great ghost story or a great story about some monster living somewhere that you want us to talk about on the Weird World Weekly podcast. You could submit it via our Patreon only Slack channel. And if for those that don't know what Slack is, it's like an app that you put on your phone. You can also access it on the web, like through your browser. That basically it's an old style chat room or a messenger, I guess. It's more of a messenger. It's a kind of a hybrid between messenger and chat room, right?
It reminds me a lot of Google Hangouts because I use it as a desktop client, which you can do Google Hangouts in a web browser too. You know what? Just do it. Do it and find out for yourself.
Yeah. $1 a month, patreon.com/galacticnetcasts, and that will go towards helping out a lot, and we really appreciate it. All right. So, Matt, what did you bring us this week?
I don't know if you were aware, Dave, but Pepsi, Coke, Nestle, Hershey, and the Kellogg Company have all funneled $1 million into criminal money laundering operation to defeat the GMO labeling.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I thought you'd love this one because it is full-blown conspiracy. Not at all that I'm not at all surprised that this is something that exists, because they're clearly okay. So for anyone listening who is not familiar with what GMO labeling is, it's the list of ingredients in short. So what these companies are trying to do is they're trying to squash the requirement to have labeling of ingredients on their products. So that's saying that they can put whatever they want in there, any amount of whatever they want on there, and not have to let you know. So if Hershey bars are really made with frozen cow poop, you wouldn't know, but it's chocolatey and delicious.
Okay.
So that's the gist of it. But there is a quote saying that donations to the quote-unquote Defense of Brands account included $2.69 million from Pepsi alone, $1.75 million from Nestle, just the USA division of Nestle, $1.75 million from Coke, just under $1 million from General Mills, just under $1 million from Conagra. I don't know what they do. $500,000 from Campbell's Soup, roughly the same from Hershey, and then $400,000 from J.M. Smucker, and $369,000 from Kellogg. So what's concerning to me, the amount of money that these companies are willing to put forth to not have to say what is in their food. What are they putting in their food? Did I lose you, Dave? Hi.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry. I don't know what happened.
So where was I when you lost me?
I don't know exactly. You were just explaining exactly what was going on.
After I got done saying all the numbers, I said one sentence. I noticed you were frozen.
Okay. So why don't you go through the numbers again, and then I'll edit that in to however.
Okay. Can you hear me all right? Because you're breaking up on occasion.
Yes, I can hear
Okay.
you.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay. So the article states that there are donations made to a quote-unquote defensive brands account, which include $2.5 million from Pepsi, $1.75 million from Nestle and Coca-Cola, just under $1 million from General Mills and a company called Conagra, which I don't know what they do. Just under $500,000 from Campbell's Soup, the same from Hershey, $400,000 from the J.M. Smucker Company, and $369,000 from Kellogg's. So, what? No, take this as a conspiracy or don't take this as a conspiracy. All that this proves is that these companies are spending an absorbent amount of money to not have to put on their label what they are putting into your body. So, why? I guess that's what I don't understand. If a Hershey bar is simply chocolate, why do you have to pay all this money to not tell me what is really in your chocolate?
Yeah, one would jump to the conclusion of they're trying to hide something.
Yeah, so now,
They're paying money and to try and basically, deceiving us as consumers.
yeah, so either they are just putting garbage in the food and feeding us, or mind control devices. Boom. That's how the government's going to control all of our minds in the future because we won't know that we're eating it.
Or, you know what? I have an alternate possibility. It could be Soylent Green.
Soylent Green is people.
Yes.
Did you know that there is there is a food replacement beverage on the market called Soylent?
Really?
Yeah, and its purpose is that it's all the nutrients that you need, so you drink 3 Soylent a day, and that's all you don't have to eat food.
Wow, that certainly does sound like the movie.
Yeah, which is weird because why wouldn't you want to eat a delicious cheeseburger?
Yeah, well, some people are trying to. Well, okay, couple of reasons. Some people don't have time to actually sit down and have a meal
Well,
because they're on the go all the time. They're trying to fit all this stuff into one day, and they don't have time to sit down, have an awesome meal, and just relax. Other people are trying to lose weight, and they figure that's how you do it. Is you don't all the bad stuff. You just have all your nutrition in that one drink.
I mean, I don't know. That's a different podcast to get in about losing weight, but people may or may not be dumb.
Yeah. All right. So I don't know what to think of this. They could have legitimate reasons as to why they're trying to hide whatever they're trying to hide. But I can't believe in this day and age that they'd actually be able to hide things like that. There's government regulations. How could they get around that kind of stuff?
Well, that's exactly what they're trying to do is stop the government from being able to regulate. I shouldn't say that they're stopping the government from regulating it, but if the government's regulating it and you're adhering to the government regulations, why are you scared to put it on your label?
Oh, I understand what's going on. Okay, so they're kind of like they're trying to stop the legislation from going through, like the law from to have more strict labeling is what they're trying to do, right?
Yeah, in a sense. And I don't know, it was really long, and this makes me a terrible information gatherer, but it sounds like they're trying to get rid of the labeling altogether, not just stop it from becoming stricter.
Okay. All right. Well, of course, as always, the companies keep getting richer, and we continue to be at their mercy.
And going back, the Ultra Jesus statue is the Christ the Redeemer statue.
Okay. All right. I didn't think the name that you said sounded familiar. That one sounds a lot more familiar.
Yeah.
You did deceive me.
I knew it. No, I knew it had a real name, but I couldn't think of it. It's a giant. It is a 98-foot tall. Wait, 98 feet and 38 meters. With the statue itself is 100 feet tall. With the pedestal, is 125 feet. That's why I call it the Ultra Jesus, because it's big. All
right. Okay, so more on this podcast, including show notes, contact info, and subscriptions. Go to gncasts.com/weird for other shows from the Galactic Netcast Network, like, for example, podcast of terror, hosted by that guy right there, Matt Stein, and our other friend, Corey Scott, who are trying to get on this podcast.
Yes, we
We're working on it. Yeah. So you may hear him on a future episode. Stay tuned for that. You can go to gncast.com for all the other shows. If you have feedback, send it to us via email, weird@gncasts.com. Of course, you can always call our voicemail number as well. That's 805-328-3966. Subscribe to this podcast via iTunes. If you like what you hear, please give us a 5-star rating and write a review. We have a subscribe page on our website. I think it is gncasts.com/subscribe. That's gncasts.com/subscribe with all the links of where you can find the show, including Google Play Music podcasts. We're available there as well. All right, Matt, hey, let's get out of here. And I forgot to play the effing intro or outro to get us out, because that would make more sense to call it an outro, because we're going out, we're not coming in, and that would be called an intro.
Or right on, Dave. Right on.
All right, so thank you for listening, everybody. Don't forget to tell your friends, your family, your neighbors, your pets, your families and neighbors' pets about Weird World Weekly. We'd really appreciate that, because the more listeners, the merrier it is. And until next time we meet, Matt, on Weird World Weekly, what do you want to do?
Keep it weird.
All right, we'll talk to you later. Well, that was a train wreck.
You're not going to strike gold every time, buddy.
Sometimes I can't focus, man. It pisses me off.
I'm the same way, so don't even worry about it. 65. I'm just changing dates on your second doc here.
Okay, thanks.
Because I'm
gonna do a real quick edit here.
Yeah, I thought you'd love this one because it is full-blown conspiracy. So at all that I'm not at all surprised that this is something that exists. They're clearly okay. So you wouldn't know, but it's chocolatey and delicious.
Okay.
So that's the gist of it. But there is a quote saying that donations to the quote-unquote Defense of Brands account included $2.69 million from...
Okay, so I'll start with
quote-unquote Defense of Brands account included $2.69 million from Pepsi alone.
From Pepsi alone, okay. How come that's not going?
Have you ever had truffle fries before? Is that a thing up by you?
No.
So it's usually just French fries, American fries, sorry, in truffle oil with Parmesan cheese. It was this thing that I used to only see in Kansas at one restaurant, and now they're everywhere.
Interesting.
Yeah. I found there's a burger place downtown that I just drove past that must have just opened called Home. And they have the truffle fries too. I'm looking at their menu right now because that's what I do. Yeah.
I've heard of truffles, but I haven't heard truffle anything else used besides just plain truffles.
Yeah.
I don't even know what a truffle is. I know it's something in the ground, right?
It's a mushroom.
Okay.
Truffle mushrooms.
Okay, I'm back. Sorry.
Confused me because I wasn't looking at you because I always put the over here.
Hang on.
They have... Right, because you're breaking up on occasion.
Yes, I can hear you.
Okay. Let me know when you're ready.
Yeah, I'm ready. Go ahead.
Okay. So the article states that there are donations made to a quote-unquote Defense of Brands.
Okay. More.
This place has a burger. It's crunchy peanut butter, grape or strawberry jelly, bacon, and diced jalapenos. That does not sound very good. $1 million from Pepsi alone. $1.75 million from Nestle and $1 million from Pepsi.
Perfect. That's where it is, right there.
From Pepsi alone, 1.75.
I can't even tell.
You're good.
No. That's what the ladies say. That was a train wreck. I should put that at the very beginning. Well, that was a train wreck.
Just save it as a sound clip. Oh, fuck. Home by noon Saturdays.
Okay, hang on. All right, I'm just about ready here.
No, it's fine.
Our YouTube viewers, this has got to be just exciting.
Fuck.
All whatever the words are.
Riveting?
Riveting.
I like riveting.
Okay, so I'm going to be podcast to be produced. This is Weird World Weekly number.
Oh,
number
shit.
was that?
Well, I got time. 64. Why the hell? I just found a 1 gig thumb drive.
Unusual?
A 1 gigabyte thumb drive? Yeah, that's comical in my opinion.
Okay.
I have like a 32 at work.
Oh, okay.
A lot of 8s and 16s.
All right. I was still thinking in 1990s numbers. Sorry.
It's not uncommon in 1990. I wouldn't even say that far back, but I mean, oh shit. Yeah, I had usually 8s because 8 fits a Windows image on it.
How come it's not letting me edit this? Okay. You know, someday I'll have a computer that I can actually do more things when I'm on a Hangout, and I can actually do.
Yeah.
Someday.
Yeah.
All right. So there we go. There's you. There's the Hangout. Oh. All right. All right. Let's do episode number 2. Here we go. Stand by.
Oh, let me mute here. All right.
Okay. Here we go. Greetings. Come on in to the Weird World Weekly, a production of Galactic Netcasts. So now we're a room. We're not a podcast, Matt, because I just said come on in.
That works.
Okay. I'm Dave Nelson. That's Matt Stein. Hello, Matt.
Hi, Dave.
You are listening to the podcast where we discuss the paranormal, the mythological, the conspiratorial, the unexplained, or anything else that fits into our definition of weird, odd, strange, or unusual. You may have your own little definition, but if it doesn't fit into ours, we're not talking about it on this show. Right?
I actually would like to go as far to say that you are listening to the best 20 minutes of your week, give or take.
Wow. That's high praise. We better focus here if we want to have that as a true fact.
Oh, it's going to happen.
Oh, okay. All right.
Yeah.
So you're wishing it to come true. So what's power of positive thinking, right?
Yeah. There's some nut job out there that thinks that that's real.
Okay. You know what? That would be something that we talk about on the show because I would classify that as weird.
Most definitely. I agree.
I was thinking a couple days ago that we should talk about strange cults on an upcoming episode.
Oh, yes. I love strange cults.
Are you watching that show, The Path?
No. Why am I not watching that?
It's really good. It's about a cult, and it stars Jesse from Breaking Bad. What's his name? Aaron Paul.
Yeah. I'm really excited. There's a video game coming out soon called Outlast 2. And the first one you were trying to escape from like a mental institution, and it's like a survival horror first person, but the second one is about a cult.
Oh, neat. And
when they released the teaser video for the gameplay trailer, it's like it's this really creepy like keyboard, and it's this like preachy guy talking about like on the April 26th blah 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 blah, but when they released it was backwards, so all the talking was backwards, and he spun it. Oh, it's so cool. Sorry.
That does sound cool. Yeah. Awesome. Okay, so before we get into our first story, don't forget you can follow us on Twitter. You can like our Facebook page, subscribe to our YouTube channel. We're also on Instagram and Pinterest, and all those links can be found on our website at gncasts.com. Haven't talked about anything paranormal for a while, so I figured let's do it this time.
Good. I'm glad you did, because mine is not paranormal.
No, not at all. Not even close to being paranormal.
No, but it falls into the weird category that I don't think we hit. I don't know if I'd call it a. Well, we'll get to it later.
No, you know what? I saw this story that you brought, and
Mm-hmm.
I contemplated bringing it myself.
I'm glad you
So
didn't.
we're of like minds, you and I.
Well, we've been doing this long enough. I feel like makes sense. We should be.
Yeah. Okay, so are you ready to get scared?
Yeah, please.
Okay,
That's my
here we
life
go.
goal.
The Sally House. You ever heard of it?
Mm-mm.
Okay, it's Sallie. It's a structure in Atchison, Kansas, that has a reputation as one of the most haunted places in the U.S.
Atchison. All right, so I'm going to cut you off real quick because I'm going to Kansas in August. I got to see how far it is from where I'm going to be.
Okay, because that might be a cool road trip. Like
It's not far at all on a map.
okay,
Lawrence. An hour north.
sweet. Then you should definitely take a side trip and go there.
I will actually try and set that up right now. But yeah. Sorry, proceed.
Okay. The house was brought to national attention when Deborah and Tony Pickman lived there from 1992 to 94 and had many disturbing encounters, including physical attacks on Tony, which were documented by the Sightings TV show. It's called the Sally House because the daughter of some previous tenants had an imaginary friend named Sally, and she is believed to be one of the spirits haunting the house. So one of the ghosts is named Sally at this house. When Tony Pickman drew a picture of the ghost Sally he had seen, the daughter identified it as her friend Sally. Coincidentally or not, people who owned the house in the 1940s had a daughter named Sally, although she did not die in the house or at a young age. But she may have been attracted to come back to the house, maybe. You know, maybe she had fond memories of growing up in that house, and now her spirit ended up after she died. That's a possibility.
It's always hard to try and figure out like why a spirit goes back to where it says it does, or it does. I don't know.
I'm sure there's many factors.
I don't know, but I like. This is gonna sound weird, but part of me like can't wait to die to try and figure that out. But I'm really into being alive right now, so.
Well, Matt, we can make that happen if you really want to see what's on the other side.
I can very easily make that happen, but like I said, I'm really into being alive right now.
Okay.
Thanks.
Someday you'll figure it out. You'll know.
Yeah.
Okay, so the Pickmans experienced much phenomenon, including wall-hung pictures turned upside down. That would be freaky.
Mm-hmm.
Strangely melted candles and burnt finger marks. Multiple photo anomalies. That probably means like taking a picture of something or somebody and then seeing something else when the picture gets
I have one of those.
developed. You do. I've seen it. It's awesome. Tony had an actual sighting of Sally on Halloween morning, 1993. While napping, Tony heard a woman's voice say, "Here's your remote," as the TV remote control was placed on his chest by unseen hands. Weird. I'd be freaked. I could handle that.
So I kind of have a story. I totally have a story.
Okay.
I am just trying to think of how crazy this might make me sound. So.
Okay, can I pause you for a second? You're getting all robot-y.
Oh, yeah.
How you could fix that? Maybe unplug your headset and plug it back in again? Or no, you have a mixer, right?
Yeah. Am I still robot-y?
Yeah, you're still robot-y.
How about now?
Still there. We haven't had this problem for a while.
How about now?
Okay, you're good. You're good.
Cool.
Now.
I switch my mic input and go back.
Okay.
Since you're gonna have to edit this all, do you want me to tell it now, or do you want me to tell it when you're done with your story?
You can tell it now, but
Okay.
Let's do it real quick. Let's do a pause.
Mm-hmm.
I can see it in my waveform. Hang on. Okay, now tell your story.
Okay, so when I was, oh boy, probably 15, I was dating a girl whose parents were like ultra religious, but like not really religious. it was strange. But they used to have these gatherings in their basement. I don't remember 100% what it was. Like this was like 15 years and a lot of years ago. But
Gatherings in the basement. Were there
they would,
symbols on the floor that were hidden
no,
by?
no, 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 no. So they would claim that um, it was like prayer circle type things. Everyone would get together and they would pray over each other, and it was that weird kind of like ultra religious culty kind of thing. And at the time, I had I'd had consistently have headaches. Like every day, I would get a headache. It wasn't like bad. I just always had one. And my girlfriend at the time talked me into going down there, and dude, it was the weirdest thing. But I just remember standing there, and like two people hold your hands, and then someone stands in front of you, and someone stands behind you, and they like started praying over me, and I had my eyes closed, and I just felt two hands push on my chest, and I took a step back and opened up my eyes, and like the lady in front of me wasn't close enough to touch me, and they're like, "Oh, did you feel it?" And I said, "Yeah." And they're like, "Just let it." So I closed my eyes again, and something pushed me, and I just fell over.
Oh my
And they
God.
caught me, and then they're like, just lay down and wait. And then people like pray over it. It was freaking strange. I almost said the F word. I don't know what it was. I don't believe that it was God or an angel. Maybe it was. Maybe I'm wrong. That would be awesome. But I feel like a situation like that is something way, way dark. Because they always say like you're gonna, a demon is gonna fake being an angel to make you comfortable and then come in. Usually angels don't interact with people like that. Yeah, from what I've read. So yeah, that
Interesting.
totally a story. I didn't really forget that happened. I just don't really talk about it much.
That's a very cool story. I mean, it's a freaky experience, but it's interesting story to tell. That's for sure.
Yeah.
So maybe there was a spirit there that was using these people, not specifically like on purpose, but he or she just happened to be there. And maybe you were open to it or something like that.
Well, I think at that time, I mean, at that age, like I was really, dude, that's the age where you don't know. You're emotional and everything is such a huge deal.
Yeah.
I don't think I'd like anyone had recently died in my life. So it wasn't like I was, from that angle or anything. It's just, yeah, it's weird. It's weird. It's an insane experience that I'm really happy that I had because it just ties into like my interest of the other side and like what really happens. But to someone who doesn't believe that stuff exists, I sound like a maniac when I say I have a picture of a kid that wasn't there, or I felt two hands push on my chest while people prayed over me. Maybe I am insane. I don't know.
Do you think that was liberation type of thing, or have an interest in this type of thing?
Can you say that again? You broke up.
Oh, do you think that experience was the motivation for you to explore this type of like paranormal stuff in your life?
I mean, it's the earliest I can remember that I was interested in like paranormal, so it's quite possible. But and honestly, it's really hard to remember what I was thinking at that time. But it's like I didn't remember that it happened, and I was like, oh, I gotta figure out what just happened. I was going to school. I was a private school. I was 15. I was going to church all the time. So it's like the mindset was very Christian oriented. So I think I probably was just like, yeah, dude, totally an angel just pushed on my chest because I'm awesome. I don't know. If someone's listening and they have insight, please. I would love to hear what you have to say.
Yeah, gncasts.com. You can call our voicemail number 805-3286, or if you're watching this on YouTube, just go ahead. Just to wrap up, the house continues to be a focal point for investigations by ghost hunting groups from all over the country who report strange activity. EV can't wait. Maybe this is like if somebody lives there, or if it's open for tours. You should find that out, and maybe try to get actually in the house. That'd be kind of cool.
Yeah, I'm down there for only a few days, and I have a bunch of stuff planned. But I'll ask if the people I'm staying with, because if it interests them, then I'm sure we can make it work. but
You know
I
what?
am interested.
You know what would help us make things work easier with Galactic Netcasts? That was the worst segue ever. I'm sorry. That's not up to my usual standard. Into it, page Galactic Netcasts. We want you to go to that URL and please give us $1 a month. In the whole scheme of things, in all the things that you pay for on a weekly, daily, monthly, yearly, basis, $1 a month is very, very cheap. Like, I don't know, you could break it down, maybe 4 balls.
I don't even know if a gumball still costs a quarter. It might cost more now.
That's true. That's very true. I don't know what is $1 anymore. Maybe a candy bar is $1, but some are more, some are a little bit less. So saying it, what I'm trying to get at here is $1 is cheap. But that $1 is very valuable to us because every little dollar helps us pay for things that keeps the Galactic Netcast network on. We do, which is podcast, because we have to pay for our website, the web hosting for that. We have to pay for our audio hosting. That's the place where we put our audio, where the podcast comes from to your ears.
Mm-hmm.
So, and then we want to do other things, like we want to pay for other, like advertising on other podcasts. Maybe get some web ads somewhere, and that. So please go to patreon.com/Galactic Netcast and become one of our patrons. Because with that $1 a month, you'll have access to our exclusive patron-only Slack channel. And Slack is kind of like a messenger service where you're getting with me, Matt, our other podcast hosts, producers, and other listeners like you who have given money to our Patreon account or Patreon campaign, which is patreon.com/Galactic Netcasts. All right, so Matt, your story this week is something that I saw that I thought was interesting and almost included it on the show, but you did.
Yeah, so a video surfaced. I'm sure it's always been around. People just noticed, but a man in the crowd of a 1995 Mike Tyson fight filmed the action with a smartphone, or so they say. So Tyson's fight that night was against Peter McNeely 21 years ago, and it was his first fight since being released from prison, and lasted only 89 seconds, which is something I loved about Mike Tyson because he knocked people out.
Mm-hmm.
There was stopped twice before he was knocked out. Or McNeely was stopped after being knocked down twice. Sorry. But if you watch the video on the website, it shows like a guy in the background holding this big phone, the quote-unquote phone. Article says the most remarkable moment of the match seems to have occurred outside of the ring after fight footage emerged online with a spectator can be seen holding up a device that looks remarkably like a 21st century smartphone. The clip posted on YouTube by Jamie Banton. I'd probably give him YouTube props on the show, but it shows Tyson warming up for the fight with one fan sitting ringside capturing the scenes on an big A-word looking gadget. Anachronistic? I don't know. But the white-colored camera has the distinctive slimline design of a smartphone with the camera lens on the top left corner, another innovation associated with modern-day recording equipment. At one point, it even flashes red as a picture is taken, which some have taken as proof that the spectator was either from another time or another world. In 95, I was 10 years old, so I don't recall what the technology was like. But
Time traveler.
Yeah, they're saying the people are saying it's a time traveler, but the other thing was that cameras at the time didn't have the lens in the top left. It would have been like a normal brick-sized camera. I don't remember smartphones in 95, like I said, but I don't even think they had color screens in 95, so why they wouldn't have thought to put a camera on a phone yet.
Yeah, no. We were a long way away from smartphones in 1995, so it definitely was not a smartphone.
So I feel like it may have been, maybe it was a tech insider who had like a prototype of a camera.
Yeah. And I read an article about the same thing, that they said there was a camera of some kind that might have fit that description back in 1995.
I'm sure. I'm sure that there is something. There's a real explanation. I don't think that it's a time traveler. Now, a time traveler would be cool. Don't get me wrong.
Yeah, no. Being Weird World Weekly, we have to, at least consider of it being a time traveler.
Yeah, absolutely. So yeah, that's it. Kind of a short to the point, but I'm kind of surprised that whomever it was, or whomever knew, or someone who knew whomever it was, hasn't come out and said anything. At least from what I've seen. Granted, 21 years ago, that person easily could be dead.
Well, I mean, if they were going to a fight, especially a Tyson fight in 1995, I'm sure that they would have brought somebody with them, because that would have been a very cool thing to go see, right?
Oh, hands down. And not only to be at, but to be that close.
So the person, if they were dead, the other person that they were there with has to be alive, or there's a good chance that they're alive.
Yeah.
So if you're listening out there, please get a hold of us. We want to know the truth.
Mm-hmm.
All right. That's just about it for this episode of Weird World Weekly. And we want to hear from you guys, because we don't do the show just for Matt and I, right? Matt, we don't do the show just for you and I, right?
No, you're delightful and a joy, but I hope someone's listening.
I'm sure there are. I've seen the numbers. We do have some listeners. So we want to hear from you guys on any of the things that we've talked about on this or other episodes. And you can email weird@gncasts.com. Call our voicemail number, 805-328-3966. Don't forget, you can subscribe to this podcast by going to gncasts.com/subscribe. Either do that or just go through iTunes, Stitcher Radio, or Google Play Music Podcast. You can find us on those locations as well. So thanks for listening, everybody. Until next time, we meet again for another episode of Weird World Weekly. Matt, what do you want to do?
Keep it weird, Dave.
Holy crap, there was a lot left. I could have gone on and on and on and on. What the hell? Oh, well. Right. Thank you, sir. Let me stop this. Was there a big delay for me?
No.
So now there was one point where I was talking, but you were still talking, and then I could hear you catch what I was saying and you stopping. Was there a delay?
Not really. There's a couple times where you garbled up a whole bunch.
Okay.
But usually when that happens, I can get the gist of what you're saying.
Okay. Because
I try and play it off to minimize your need to edit these things.
Okay, thank you. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
I know you. I'm sure that you have a distinct, a new perspective on that, since you have to